Hey, this is Walter Jones.
This is Austin St. John.
And you're listening to
Ranger Danger.
Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Go, go, Ranger Danger. Matt and Michael's Ranger Danger.
Welcome once again to Mighty Morphin Ranger Danger. That's the podcast where we watch an episode of the long-ended TV series Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Then afterwards, we discuss it a bit, I guess.
In depth.
Yeah, we have a bit of a back and forth.
Lots of depth.
Yeah, we push deep into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then find what is at the centre of it and try and bring it back to the core, from the core to the outside, and sell it as fuel.
I don't really know what we do, to be honest. We watch a show and then we talk about it, and we've done it for a year and a half, and we still haven't quite figured out how to describe what it is that we do. I'm Michael.
I'm Matt.
Matt, where can they find us?
At our website, actually.
Yep.
If you are a person who likes the internet and you want to sort of find somewhere where we're represented in that space, that's www.rangerdangerpodcast.com.
Yep.
If you hate snail mail and are fully committed to email, send us an email, rangerdangerpodcast@gmail.com. If you're a Twitter person, a Twitter bird, as they're called,
That's not what
send us a Twitter tweet at RangerDcast. We're also on Facebook and iTunes and Stitcher and YouTube and Google+, and we have a shop.
Tune in.
Tune in.
On
Tune in.
well.
Tune in. Our shop is rangerdangerpodcast.com/shop, where you can get cups and mugs and no shower curtains
That's
yet,
the one.
because Michael has let us down.
If you really want a shower curtain, let me know and I'll make it happen straight away. But, I mean, also, reconsider your life choices. Probably.
Hashtag yes shower curtain. So, we're going to watch...
81.
That's right. It is called Zedd's Monster Mash.
Yep.
I'm guessing there'll be some monsters.
Mash. Maybe it's a potato monster.
That's too much to hope for.
Wouldn't it be good if it was a potato monster? That would be great.
I actually think it's an episode where they bring back a whole lot of old monsters from memory.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be nearly as good as a potato monster.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for this episode. Now, my mindset is that we're going to be sort of not really having much Jason or Trini or Zach this episode.
I certainly believe so. Next week's episode is the Ninja Encounter.
Yep.
And that's the first appearance of those other Rangers.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd imagine we're at the point now in the show where we're going to be seeing some stock footage and some Rangers fighting with their backs to the camera, and
Awesome. That sounds like a good time.
it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
We are going to watch today's episode on Netflix.
That's right. We have it in Australia now.
We are so excited.
You like everywhere else in the world, you may think this is a strange thing to be so excited for Netflix, but it has changed our lives.
You've had Netflix. People in Australia, we know you've had it for like a month. We're recording in advance.
Yeah. It's just profoundly exciting. I get to watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt all the time. Daredevil will be hitting soon in our time. That'll be crazy.
You'll have
exciting.
already seen all of it.
Yeah, because it all happens at once. It's like Magic Candyland.
It's like Magic Candyland.
Should put that on a t-shirt. Alright, so shall we just go and watch today's episode?
Yeah, it says Monster Mash.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's do the Monster Mash.
If you want to watch it, you can go and do it maybe on Netflix or on DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you can come back and listen to us after the break.
Yeah, we'll be back in a sec.
See you guys. And we're back. We just watched Zedd's Monster Mash.
I loved it.
Michael, I think it's fair to say that was the best possible result for you.
Yes.
The best of all outcomes.
Yep.
That could have possibly been achieved.
No question.
Second favourite episode of all time?
Absolutely. I don't understand how it could be anyone's not.
Alright, well maybe we'll sort of reveal why that's the case when we get to it in the episode. No, you're not allowed to give it away now.
Okay. I'm so happy.
Yeah. So, this episode we're expecting to see some stock footage.
Yeah.
We're expecting to see some actors pretending to be Trini and Jason and Zach. We don't get that. They're just not in the episode.
It solves the problem by just not having them be in the episode. I think it works.
Yeah, I think it's probably... I probably prefer this to the alternative of really hacky sort of pretending that they're there.
I suspect if you had to do this for, like, 8 episodes in a row,
Yeah.
kids would start going, there's 3 of them that just aren't there.
Yeah.
But for, like,
One episode, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
And they sort of start in this episode seeding the idea of the peace conference. That
Yep.
will eventually take our childhood heroes from us.
Mm-hmm.
Down peace. So how does the episode open, Michael?
Okay, so it's Halloween.
Yeah.
And Billy and Kimberly are preparing, like, an event.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, all of the kids at the high school are going to take some younger kids trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
And it's a very organised, like, parents sign their kids in, sign their kids out. Just having someone to go with them, and the parents can maybe relax for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Sure.
Seems nice.
It's a nice little thing.
Yeah.
Billy and Kimberly start talking about this peace conference. And Kimberly thinks, it'd be great to be selected and represent peace. I guess. But Billy asks,
Peace conference.
yeah,
What? I mean, we'll get to that more later, I guess. But like, what?
yeah. No, let's save that until some Rangers actually leave for the peace conference.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Billy does ask, if one of us got selected, what would happen to our team of superheroes who save the world every week?
Good question.
And
Billy.
Kimberly goes, yeah,
That's a problem.
yeah, better not be selected for peace.
Yeah, that'd be really unfortunate. We'd have one leg and a chest plate.
Exactly, yeah. I wonder, watching this, what the mood on set was like.
Yeah, you've got to imagine it was super weird for those guys.
Like, 80 episodes.
Yeah.
They'd have to have, like, filmed for more than a year at this point. We're, like, 18 months into the show. Those are, like, they're good friends.
Yeah.
Even though Jason David Frank, we know, didn't get along with everybody.
Yeah.
But, like, 2 of the people who are still on the set must have gotten along pretty well with the 3 people who've walked off.
Yeah, and I think the situation was that the other 3 sort of came to Jamie Jo Johnson and David Yost and maybe Jason David Frank and said, we're going to sort of try and negotiate this out. Are you in? And those guys presumably said no.
Yeah.
And then they turn up to work the next day and those guys are booted out the door.
Yeah.
So you have to feel like, A, weird that they're just suddenly gone, and B, weird that you potentially had a hand in that in some sort of...
Yeah, I mean, I understand what the show's done.
Yeah.
Which is they're going to replace them with 3 new characters. I have to imagine if all of them had left, they'd have done the same thing.
Yeah.
I suspect if Jason David Frank had also left, the show would have been ruined.
That would have been I don't know about ruined, it would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just because, the kids can probably get through half of them leaving.
Yeah.
All of them, and let's be honest, the one that they all really love leaving after he just came back.
Yeah.
It's just probably unrecoverable.
And you've got to wonder if maybe they all went in to negotiate and they gave Jason David Frank what he wanted because it's Tommy.
Yeah.
And Billy and Kimberly were the 2 that had maybe the lower offers, and they went, look, we'll take those so we can have that bit of continuity and get rid of the other guys who are asking for a bit more.
Yeah,
Potentially.
who knows?
Messy situation.
It's certainly, you have to imagine on Saban's end,
Yeah.
those guys are never going to threaten to leave for more money.
No. No, because they know that they'll
You've proved that you are perfectly willing to just boot the guys and
push you out of a moving car.
Yeah, the show will be awkward for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have new guys and no one will care. Except Matt, who'll be very upset about Rocky, but we'll get to that.
And you've got to imagine that would be disheartening as well for the other guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like, if the show had tanked at this point, they'd probably feel a little better knowing that they were, integral to the show's success.
Yeah.
But they have to go on in the knowledge that they could be replaced at any moment and no one will care functionally.
I certainly do think that we're approaching the period where the show was at its peak.
Yeah.
And it's like about now, maybe even a little earlier than now. And, but who knows what would have happened if they'd stayed? Like, is it just that the kids who were really into Power Rangers were now 2 years older and, like, were at the age where they were going to move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
Or did the fact that they left mean that a bunch of kids went, I don't like this guy enough, turn it off, and then eventually over time kids were out of it? Like,
Yeah, I think they actually did work to, if in a lazy way, integrate into the narrative.
yep,
And I think that helps kids buy
yes,
into it.
certainly.
They're not like, oh, they're just suddenly gone. They're like, oh, I understand.
They went to a peace
Jason
conference.
had to go to a peace conference. It's sad, but it's peace.
Yeah, you can't be against peace. You can't be anti-peace.
And that's kind of a dick move to make a peace conference too, isn't it? Like, as you said, you can't be against peace.
No. Well, you can be against peace, but you are explicitly a bad guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, so yeah, Jason is off picking up Trini and Zach
Yeah. That's why they're not here.
from the unemployment office. presumably.
Oh.
Too soon?
Low blow.
This happened 21 years ago. It can't be too soon.
It's fresh in my mind.
I met two of them. They're doing fine.
Yeah, that's true.
The third one isn't, but she'd have been doing fine. If, yeah. Anyway, Tommy is a pirate.
Yeah, I guess. But, like, he's a pretty shitty pirate. He's basically just wearing a vest.
And a blouse.
He's either a pirate or a cast member from The Princess Bride.
That could be a pirate. There's a pirate in that movie.
That's true. It could be a pirate.
Billy is, I guess, a mad scientist.
Yes.
He's got, like, crazy grey spiky hair.
Yeah. He's a pretty good mad scientist. I can buy that.
He's already, like, a stereotypical scientist. All he needs is the hair to make him a mad scientist.
Probably he's a little mad already as well, so.
Kimberly is,
A lady?
like, I guess some sort of jester
I don't know.
type.
I can't even remember what she looks like now.
It's strange.
Yeah.
It's
not a costume, basically.
It's not like an instantly recognisable, oh, Kimberly's dressed as an elf costume. It's strange. So, Lord Zedd, he's a fan of Halloween.
Yeah.
Who'd have guessed?
It does kind of
Skinless walking monstrosity that he is.
Speaking of skinless walking monstrosity, Lord Zedd, like, I probably shouldn't be making comparisons, but watching the scene again, having just watched Dino Charge,
Yep.
makes me really sad about Sledge as a
Yeah.
character. It's like, oh, Lord Zedd is so much cooler. Like, just having him not be a weird sort of foam puppet.
I just had this weird... Does Lord Zedd have a mouth?
No, he has
Like a face mask, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's got the same kind of issue. His design is just scary enough that he makes it work.
And I think it's not so much about scariness, it's a lot of it looks organic.
Yeah.
And it looks like a person. Whereas Sledge is very, very clearly just a big block of foam that's been carved out.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just sort of hews a lot closer to being a person.
Yep. So Goldar suggests sending monsters down to infiltrate the party.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not before Babu says he wants to go to the party dressed as Bo Peep. Now, if you want to have a scary Halloween experience, think about Babu dressed as Bo Peep. Just sit with that for a moment. Little pink dress, frills. It has a big cane.
it's messed up.
It's messed up.
Messed up. How does he even know about Little Bo Peep? He's been in a dumpster for 10,000 years.
Oh, it's been out for a little while. Do they have internet then? Probably not.
No, certainly not Wi-Fi on the moon.
That makes it weirder because that means he's just been creeping around libraries in the children's section.
Right, so Goldar suggests that they send monsters down to infiltrate the party,
Yeah.
presumably remembering that time that they already did that.
Yeah.
Lord Zedd says, shut your mouth, you moron. I'm going to throw a party of my own. This is a terrible plan.
Yes.
Like, actually thinking about it now, it's not so much that it's a terrible plan, it's that the story does not care about the plan in any way.
No, it's... Lord Zedd doesn't seem to care about the plan in any way.
I mean, we'll get to that, but yeah, jeez.
Did we skip over the Balkan Skull?
No,
bit?
that happens now.
Right.
So they're dressed as like Roman centurions, or possibly dressed as Pudgy Pig.
Yes.
So Bulk grabs Bulk's a dickhead. He grabs a handful of
Hot tamales.
hot candy,
Yep.
generic home brand hot spicy candy.
Yep.
Eats it at once because he's a disgusting monster of a human being. It's very hot.
It causes him to spin on the spot as if he's on like a gimbal. in one direction very fast. Which is...
Oh, not as if he was in one direction.
No, that's a different sort of spin. And then he tries to cool himself off by putting his head into like a bucket of water, which is like a dunking for apple thing.
Yep.
Comes up with an apple in his mouth, and then the sound effects guy decided it was a good idea to play pig squeals as he did it.
Skull removes the apple from Bulk's mouth and then takes a bite from the apple.
Going back to that pig thing though, like, I know that fat shaming is kind of a thing that Power Rangers does anyway.
Sure.
But that's kind of some next level shit.
It's a bit unnecessary, isn't it?
It's just, like, for kids.
Yeah.
Not okay, you know? And those guys are good comedic actors.
Well, they're comedic actors.
They're pretty solid. Like, when they have good material to
Sure.
work with. Like, just to skip ahead, just for a moment, it's not important. There's a scene where Bulk and Skull are talking up at the juice bar, and while they're talking, Skull has a big pumpkin in front of him.
Yep.
And he's trying to cut it open with a plastic knife. And what he's doing is he picks up a plastic knife, jabs it into it, the plastic knife shatters, he chucks that aside, grabs another plastic knife, and tries it again, and does this about 7 times. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Like, that's some solid shit, and that makes me think that that's something he came up with on set.
Yeah, probably.
And the pig thing is something that was in the script. You know what I mean?
Yep. This show is terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, there's Skull eating some bulk apple.
Oh, I am not comfortable with that turn of phrase. Oh boy.
Seeing it is almost as comfortable as hearing that turn of phrase.
No, hearing it is much worse.
It's worse? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Alright, so Lord Zedd sends down some putties.
Oh, sorry. One more thing about that Bulk and Skull stuff. Bulk enters the room with a rhyme, like a Halloween rhyme, and it ends in the word underwear. But before he gets to that, Tommy interjects fiercely. He's like, "Cool it, bud," because he almost says underwear. Like, he acts like he was just about to drop the C-bomb in
Yeah,
front of children.
the rhyme was not something's going to rhyme with duck. Let's be careful here, guys. It's just...
It was just so over the top. It was the perfect like representation of this show. It's like underwear is too far. You can't say underwear.
Yeah, you can punch things until they explode. That's fine. But
You
don't
can-
even think about the word underwear.
You could shove your flaming drill through a monster so you can see through its stomach, but don't say underwear.
No. Alright, so Lord Zedd sends down some putties.
Yeah.
These putties disguise themselves as children in Power Rangers costumes.
Yes.
But not just any Power Rangers costumes. They've got black gloves and belts with Zeds on them.
Yeah.
So they've disguised themselves as the evil Power Rangers that previous putties...
Pretended to
It's the
be.
most bizarre, like...
It's mind-bendingly meta, isn't it?
Yeah. Previously, previously, putties had disguised themselves as evil Power Rangers.
Yeah.
These putties, who may well be the same putties, have disguised themselves as children dressed as those evil Power Rangers. Frankly, it's so much more effort than the show normally goes to.
Yeah.
I was really impressed. Their helmets are terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they didn't just give them the real helmets. But anyway.
Who knows? Who knows?
Yep. So,
Tommy goes off with them
yeah,
because he thinks they're actual children.
even though they're completely silent.
There's a lot of parallels between this episode and the last Dino Charge episode we watched.
Yeah.
Just if someone you know, like that you're familiar with, comes up to you and asks you to go somewhere, but they refuse to talk, be suspicious, kids.
Especially if they're wearing a full-body costume and mask.
Yeah.
Such that you don't really know for sure it's them.
Yeah.
It'd be like if you went to get a lift from someone and their car rolled up and it had completely black tinted windows and you said, "Hey," and they just flashed the lights and you just got in the car.
No, it'd be more like you hopped in the car and they're in there dressed like the Sting and refused to talk to you.
He said, "Oh, hey, Matt, how are you doing?" And you just went,
Just nodded.
driving away.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so, look, long story short, Tommy takes the putties trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
He does a bizarre thing with a skeleton hanging from a tree, where he's like, "Woo, alright, that's enough."
Yeah, he pulls on its hand a bit. He's like, "Ooh, serious skeleton. Hey, kids." They don't say anything. He's like, "Okay, that's enough of that." It's like, Enough of what? Chunky got skeleton arms. I didn't realise we had a 5-second max on that sort of thing.
You don't want to do too much skeleton arming.
No.
Alright, Goldar teleports down.
Yeah.
The kids turn into putties. Tommy barely looks shocked.
He doesn't look shocked at all. Which, to be fair at this point, probably not so shocking.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Tommy beats the putties in a fight. At which point Goldar reveals that the fight was unnecessary because he just teleports them all away.
During this fight, though, it's made me realise that Tommy's hair has grown to prohibitive lengths.
Yeah.
Now, my hair at the moment is about half the length of Tommy's.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Roughly. And even that, when it's clean, and I'm doing something vigorous, it gets in my face.
Yep.
During this fight, it gets all up in his grill.
Mm.
He needs to either tie that shit back, cut it, or not be a Power Ranger anymore.
It's funny because his morphing shot, he has his hair back in a ponytail, but we haven't actually, I don't think we've seen that look yet on him. Yeah. So, okay, here's the thing. We get what might be the weirdest non sequitur shot of this entire episode. Mm-hmm. There's a key monster.
Yes.
Who's in your standard black room with fog dimension, with just a door freestanding in the middle of the space. And Lord Zedd's made him gatekeeper of the dark dimension. And he has a great voice.
Yeah.
A really great voice.
He looks like he'd be a really interesting monster.
Yeah. It's a shame he appears for this minute and no longer.
He doesn't come back ever?
No.
What?
So he, puts a key. He can't find the right key, so he's got a master key. He locks the door through the door. We then see, in wherever Tommy's been teleported to, the other end of the key comes out through a gravestone, locks the gravestone, and then disappears. That's all we will ever see of that monster.
That's so weird.
He may be the only Power Rangers monster to never be, defeated.
Yeah.
Just because...
He's still out there somewhere.
Yeah. Just watching that door, in whatever dimension that is, just waiting.
That's so disappointing, because I love, key door gimmicks.
Yep.
It's just a cool trope, and,
No, the gatekeeper...
Not only that, that aspect of the episode is completely disregarded.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll get to that. But, he's locked it, and that means nothing. No.
That was probably, besides the Megazord fight, the only Japanese footage of this episode as well.
Yeah, could well have been.
So why would you...
Why even do it? Yeah.
So weird.
Alright, so Tommy's there, and he's about to morph.
Yeah.
When he is attacked by Robo-Goat.
Robo-Goat.
Who you may remember from...
Robo-Goat's episode.
A new monster called Doomstone.
Yes.
Who is like a tombstone, but cracked kind of across a diagonal. In the crack is just a single giant eye.
Yeah.
And then it's got arms and legs.
Yeah.
He's cool.
It's a cool design.
I like Doomstone.
Again, it's a pity nothing comes of it.
Doomstone would be my favourite monster of this episode if Tommy wasn't then immediately attacked by Pumpkin Rapper.
Pumpkin Rapper's back!
And he's not just back in Pumpkin Rapper's there. He has new raps.
It's really interesting because Pumpkin Rapper turned up and I got worried for you. Because I was like, he's going to be here.
He's not going to say anything.
He's not going to... They couldn't get the voice actor back. He'll just be, offhand. But no.
Pumpkin Rapper becomes the main antagonist of this episode.
Yeah. Pumpkin Rapper said that you needed him to return and took over the episode.
Thank you, Pumpkin Rapper.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that someone said, right, what costumes have we got? Because most of those costumes were from the Zayu 2 footage.
Yeah. So
they had, access to them. They went, right, we've got this, this, and this. And someone went, yeah, okay, we're using Pumpkin Rapper.
Yeah.
He's let's use him. So Pumpkin Rapper does some new raps, which is the best sentence in the world. Meanwhile, at the juice bar, Tommy should be back by now.
Yeah,
and it's
suspicious.
It's weird, Billy says, because all the kids have been accounted for.
Dun dun dun.
And Jason and the others are also not back yet. So, let's try and get in touch with Tommy. They beat him twice. Doesn't get back to them.
Yep.
So that's a problem. So they go to the command center. It'd be a shame if he was just having a bath.
That'd be weird. Yeah. Observe the viewing globe. Wait, no, don't away from the viewing globe.
Kimberly keeps watching the viewing globe.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch that some more. Alpha 5 secretly records it, gives it to her on a tape. Alpha 5 is just a disgusting pervert monster. You got the power to look wherever you want. You want me to tell me neither of them have ever fucked around with it?
Kimberly's just like, okay, Billy, you go fight the monsters. I'll be in my bunk.
Yeah, I need to observe some more of his viewing globe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said that.
Oh, dear.
Okay, look, he's in hell.
That's another t-shirt, I think.
No, we're not making a t-shirt that says, let me observe your viewing globes.
There has to be some more of your viewing globes.
Okay. I like that because it's unisex.
Yeah.
Either gender can have viewing globes.
That's right. We're equal opportunity here, Rain Changer.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Anyway, so Billy says, why doesn't Tommy morph? It's because he's lost his morpher. But that means that Tommy has the same questions I did about the last episode of Dino Charge when Tyler was fighting Fury.
Yep.
And I like, what? Of course you morph in that situation. It's the smart thing to do. Even Billy knows that. So
Yeah.
I'm still angry at Tyler. Is the point.
It's like a month later. You need to let it go. Okay. Alright. You're never going to let that go. That's fine. Right. So Jason and the others can't come to help.
Yep.
Because they're still in charge of some kids. So they come up with a plan.
This is the best plan.
This is the worst plan.
Best plan.
So here's what's going to happen, right? Kimberly and Billy go now.
Yep.
Alpha 5 will get the coordinates to where he is.
Yep.
Because there's coordinates for alternate dimensions.
Yep.
Somehow.
They come out on a printer.
Yeah. Alpha 5 will teleport to where the kids are with the other Rangers.
No, seriously, why a printer though? Like, you get the coordinates, you punch the coordinates in. You don't need to print the coordinates out, look at them.
Sometimes you need to take the coordinates with you. So Alpha 5 is going to teleport down and mind the children.
Yes.
While he can give the coordinates to the other Rangers, and they can go straight there.
Any plan that involves Alpha 5 going out and just hanging out with humans and pretending to be a dude in the suit, I always approve of.
Frankly, the worst part about this episode is that we don't see 10 minutes of that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Look, Kimberly and Billy teleport to the dimension.
Mm-hmm.
They're soon joined by the other three, instantly morphed and very quiet.
Yeah. Strangely reserved.
They do say like a line or two, but it's kind of dulled out by the music. So there's a whole list of monsters that they fight.
Yeah.
Reflectorilla, or whatever he's actually called.
Reflectorilla, I think it was.
Rhino Blaster, Invincible Flytrap, Snizzard. The show makes them all look like shit retroactively.
In how easily they're so toxic.
Yeah, in that just...
Yeah. That's the problem with these big monster team-up episodes, is that when they're originally presented, they can take on a Ranger single-handedly.
Yeah.
And then when there's 10 of them, they're suddenly not even able to do that collectively.
Yeah, maybe... Do you think we could handwave it as the morphing grid?
In what way?
Like, the morphing grid provides the Rangers with... Because it's powered by the balance.
Yeah.
It provides the Rangers with enough power to deal with the current threat. So...
Potentially, but we see them overwhelmed later.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's no, like, balance of power there. I think, if anything, the way to handwave it would be they're just resurrected shells of former monsters.
Sure. Except Pumpkin Run.
Except that's not...
Lord Zedd put all his effort into Pumpkin Run.
That's right. Like, the way in a sane world this episode would have gone is that they managed to defeat all the shell monsters and they had to fight the Doomstone.
Yeah.
But that's not what happens.
No. In
Thank
fact,
God.
Doomstone also escapes this episode.
Yeah, totally unharmed.
Yeah. Alright, so there's a great bit in this fight where one of the monsters still has Tommy's morpher. So Billy, like, kicks it away from the monster and goes, "Here, catch," and throws it. And the shot we get is of the morpher just, like, rolling along the ground.
Well, it's airborne for a little bit, but it does just hit the ground, and Tommy has to bend down and pick it up.
There's no it's not like they had to shoot that shot happening across a large space. Someone just off camera could have just gone, here you go.
Yeah.
But they chose, intentionally,
To show Billy as the least coordinated person on the planet.
He's sticking around, guys. He's not one of the ones that left. Be better to him, okay? Anyway, so... they summon the Megazord.
Yeah.
Pumpkin Wrapper grows giant.
Yes.
The rest of the monsters... Something.
Nothing happens.
All of a sudden, we're either out of the dimension or in the sunny part of the dimension. Also, the dimension was locked, but apparently that didn't stop any of the other Rangers getting in.
Yeah, whoever was writing the script promptly forgot about the dimension thing at this point in the episode. Because, as you said, the monsters aren't referred to again. They don't ever seem to leave the dimension. I mean, potentially, what happens is the other Rangers go into the Dark Dimension, and the rest of Power Rangers is just some Dark Dimension illusion for the next 20-something years, because they never got out.
It's one of those things where it feels like no one read over the whole thing at the end of it. Everyone wrote 5 pages.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, we'll lock them in the Dark Dimension. And then they were like, right, they'll fight a dozen monsters. And then the guy whose job it was to write the end was like, well, they beat Pumpkin Wrapper. That's all there was in this one, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand how this happens. It really makes you appreciate Dino Charge.
And I don't understand, okay, say there's no Zord footage of them destroying Doomstone.
Yeah.
Which is unlikely, but not impossible. Why have Doomstone at all?
Yeah.
Why not just have the main bad guy be Pumpkin Wrapper?
Yeah.
Why?
Because here's the thing, Pumpkin Wrapper is Halloween themed.
Yeah, it's just...
It's super puzzling.
And also, another thing, the Pumpkin Wrapper fight footage, that's all old stuff.
Yeah.
There wasn't a second Pumpkin Wrapper episode in a different show. Pumpkin Wrapper was a Zio 2 monster that they didn't use the Zord footage from originally.
Yeah.
So, if the goal was to get an extra episode out of the Pumpkin Wrapper fight, why waste 2 monsters? It's just...
Yeah.
I'm not even angry. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I'm the same. But I also know that there's functionally no way for us to ever figure it out.
No.
Which is depressing, but...
We could send an angry letter to someone who hopefully remembers the particulars of their job 21 years ago.
Well, it wouldn't even have to be an angry letter. I would it would just be legitimately like, hey, no offense, we just want to know what's up. What was going through your head?
And they'll say, I don't know, we were high on cocaine. It was a children's television show. No one gave a shit.
Yeah.
And we'll say, we've seen 81 episodes. We know.
We should have suspected.
I don't know that we've ever raised the possibility that everyone making the show was high all the time.
It would make a lot of sense.
Although I don't know how they afforded that much cocaine, because they probably weren't getting paid a lot.
Well, it seems like one of the show's writers is Cheryl Saban.
Yes.
Who is the wife of Ahem Saban.
Yeah, she's probably not doing terribly.
Yeah, she's probably got a lot of cocaine.
She did, in fact, write this episode.
Look at that!
There you go.
Look at that.
Cocaine. That's the answer. It's not even a surprising answer, really.
And if they had anything even resembling a writer's room, it's not out of the question that Cheryl rocked up to the meetings with a big bag and was like, hey guys, let's break down some episodes. And break down our minds.
I'm sure this show didn't have, once a week, a table read where everyone goes through the,
No way.
I'm sure that this is a show where the production is very much, let's get as much out of it as possible.
Yeah.
But that they didn't even just have one guy whose job it was to proofread everything and go...
Ask a question.
This makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just insane. Do they not care? Yes, that's the answer. They made, billions of dollars on no one giving a shit, so why start giving a shit?
Yeah.
But
that's exactly... It's like the BBC people that taped over episodes of Doctor Who.
Yes.
At the time. Because there was a throwaway kids show that no one cared about, so why would you bother keeping the episodes, you know? It's
We
depressing.
must get up to good ones soon.
Look, at least this one was crazy interesting. you
Oh,
know?
sure. And it didn't have, like, mess up time travel shenanigans.
And we are up to good ones. We're watching Dino Charge.
Yeah, but that's cheating.
Yeah, but it's what we had to do to keep saying.
Yeah. Okay, so, look, Lord Zedd's pretty pissed off.
Yeah.
The sentence he says is, "Those power brats defeated an army of my best monsters." Well, I mean...
They didn't, though.
No, they defeated one monster who, as much as I love him, is okay,
Yeah.
monster-wise.
Not that important.
Yeah.
There's no reason to think that stopping Pumpkin Rapper stopped the other monsters.
And the rest of them, they really just, like, laid down and then left.
Yeah. They're probably still out there.
Yeah. I mean, at least one of them is still guarding the door to that dimension.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing if, like, 5 years from now, for the show's 25th anniversary, that monster came back?
That would blow
And,
my
like,
mind.
no one, even we were like, I don't know who that monster is. And someone was like, oh, that's Key Monster from Zedd Monster Mash.
Yeah. And then he opens the door to the dark dimension and out
Pumpkin Rapper comes out.
Well, Pumpkin Rapper exploding.
Oh,
But it would have to be like the Invisible Flytrap, Robo-Goat,
Reflectorilla.
They all just pour out of this door and you're like, what?
And every child is like, I do not understand what is going on. This is a reference to something that happened 3 times before I was born.
Yeah. Awesome.
That would be great.
It would be great.
I want to see more Pumpkin Rapper. It doesn't even need to be Pumpkin Rapper. I just want monsters like Pumpkin Rapper.
Specifically rapping?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the part that I care about.
Yeah. Pumpkins are pretty cool, but it's the rapping that's...
Yeah, look, I would much prefer a rapping non-pumpkin to a non-rapping pumpkin.
Can you imagine a pumpkin monster that showed up in the show and didn't rap? It'd just be like, what are you even doing?
Statistically,
Just go
it
for it.
has to happen eventually,
Yeah,
surely.
sure.
They've made this show for like 25 years. They must have done a second pumpkin monster.
I'll have to look into that.
I might do some Googling. So, that's basically the end of the episode.
Yeah, they do go back to the juice bar. Despite catching up with the others, Jason and Trini still aren't there. And they talk to each other for a bit. It was so boring I can't remember what happened.
No, not at all. Bulk and Skull probably did something.
No, it was a lame... Oh, no, that's right. They came in and they were too sick because they had too much candy. And then Tommy's a dick to them about it. End of episode. That's how that breaks down. Yeah. Shall we do the Ranger Danger Creature feature?
Yeah, let's do the Ranger Danger Creature feature. So, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Would you want to adjust your ranking of any of the other monsters that appeared?
Well, where's Pumpkin Rapper? Because I think he's the only one that would be worth adjusting, if at all.
Pumpkin Rapper is already at 11.
Okay, and he's Bones. Oh, Bones is pretty cool. But Pumpkin Rapper is returning. So maybe that gives him, like, legacy points. you know?
Yeah. Is he better than Snizzard? Snizzard is really only there on the strength of being Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. Maybe...
The Super Putties were cool, claymation-y, like...
Well, how about Sneezer appears in this episode and he's really lame.
Yes.
What if we bump him down,
Yep.
bring Bones up,
Right.
and then put Pumpkin Rapper just above Bones? So Bones is still in the top 10, and then number 9 is Pumpkin Rapper.
Yep.
Sweet. I think that's the way to do it.
If Pumpkin Rapper comes back a third time, he's number 1.
Alright.
There's just... there's no room for debate there. That's just the way it is. What about Doomstone? Doomstone's got an excellent name.
Yep.
A great design.
Legitimately great design.
And is completely useless.
Actually, I'm not sure he fights the Rangers. I think he just points...
He grapples with Tommy briefly.
Okay. Oh boy. I don't know. Where do you put a monster like that? I guess he's, like, better than neutral.
Yes.
So, he's not actively bad.
No. Let's see. Better than Pine Octopus? No, not really.
No. Sadly. I wish he was. He could have been with very little effort.
Do you think... Okay, I think about here is where they get to neutral, around, like, Mighty Minotaur
Sure.
and Cyclopsis.
Yeah.
He's better than Pipe Brain.
Yep, I think so.
Is he better than Cyclops?
No, I don't think he's better than Cyclops or Genie. I think maybe above Fang.
Fang.
And he's Gooneyberg ads.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about the Keymaster?
I mean, I'm not even sure I feel comfortable putting him on the list.
I understand that impulse. But like the fact
It'd
that
be like putting Ernie on this list. They do the same amount of interaction with the Power Rangers.
No, Ernie does a lot more interaction with the Power Rangers. He's so enigmatic that I kind of love him.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I really want to put him at number 1. I think he's got a great voice and he's a great thing, and he doesn't have any chance to be beaten. But he's just.
Can we put him?
I can't put him above like Babe Ruthless.
No, definitely.
Who has a great name and gimmick and also fights the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
What
about above maybe just below Pine Octopus?
Yeah, above the Oysterizer?
Yeah, I think so.
That seems about right.
Because I would much rather see him again than Oysterizer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Whereas if it was him or Pine Octopus,
yeah,
I'd be willing to go 50-50. All right.
Cool.
Well, that's it.
It's a bumper week for the creature feature.
Yeah, lots of creatures, lots of features. Okay.
We featured those creatures.
So next week is the Ninja Encounter.
Yes. 3
brand new Power Rangers appear.
They won't be Power Rangers.
No, not for a while yet. Yeah. Surprisingly long, really.
Yeah. That's really exciting. We're going to get the best Power Ranger and the worst Power Ranger and the neutral Power Ranger.
It's actually really interesting that, obviously at this point, those guys left the show.
Yeah.
Because they're not in this episode.
Yeah.
But by next episode, which surely must have aired, next week or soon after.
Probably the next day.
Yeah. They'd already cast the new guys.
Yeah.
But they don't make the new guys Power Rangers for 6 weeks. Or 6 episodes. That might be a week.
Yeah,
but
I guess they wanted to ease the transition.
Yeah, it's just an interesting, given the situation they're in where they don't have 3 Power Rangers.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been past this show for this episode to have, at the end, someone go, oh, they got selected for the peace conference, we're never going to see them again.
Yeah.
And next week there's, oh, it's 3 new kids.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they went, no, we can hold it out for a little longer.
Yeah, it's bold, if anything, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool, so that's that.
Mm.
Do you have anything else, Michael?
I do have one last thing to close on, Matt.
Okay.
You know how great Doomstone's name is?
Yes.
How great do you reckon his Die Ranger name is?
Pretty great.
Company President Gravestone. Is the Tombstone-themed right-hand man of the group.
That's amazing.
Gravestone, like his teammates Boss Kamikaze and Teacher Telephone,
what?
were born quirkier and weaker than other minions.
What?
They're part of the 3 Gorma Stooges.
I can't handle that, Michael.
That's Teacher Telephone, Matt.
Okay, that's amazing.
Teacher Telephone never appears in Power Rangers.
No.
Can you believe that this episode could have had, 3 Stooges monsters?
Yeah.
They only used one of them. I wonder now if 2 of those costumes were unusable.
Yeah, got damaged in transit or something.
And so they could only use Doomstone, and it was so damaged they could only use him in the dark.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I want to watch that episode of Die Ranger. That sounds amazing.
Company President Gravestone.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
If I was a wrestler, that would absolutely be my name.
Oh, man. Okay. So we'll be back next week with the Ninja Encounter Part 1.
Yep.
We'll probably have a guest.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. I feel like we should find 3 new guests, but that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
We might find 1. Or an old guest. Or no guest. Those are definitely all the options.
No promises of quality. That's our commitment to you here at Ranger Danger.
No, I promise that whatever happens, it will be of the same quality. I just can't prepare you for what will happen.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Michael will be back next week. I will be back next week, possibly renamed Company President Gravestone. And we'll see you then.
All right, bye, guys.